While Fuller House may be a family show, the Fullest House podcast is not. Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to the Fullest House podcast, where we all hate Mondays. I'm Zach.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Harrison.
And welcome to our next bonus episode. As you could tell from the intro and maybe some other things, we're doing Garfield.
Guys, we watched the Garfield Show today, and might I just ask, why?
Why not?
Why
not? I know it was maybe my idea, but also, having watched it, why did we do that?
Are you saying you did not have a good time watching the Garfield Show?
I had a wonderful time watching the Garfield Show. It's just that now I have to talk about it for an hour.
This was such a strange peek into an alternate dimension where dog catchers are giant robots and Garfield is even sleepier than usual. Like, much sleepier than usual.
Much sleepier than usual. I think that comes down to the voice acting.
Yeah.
He's voiced by
Welker,
the great Frank Welker, who... the great comes from other things.
Yeah.
I adore Frank Welker.
Oh, wow.
Not so much here.
Yeah, it's a weaker Garfield voice. He's a little too dead. Like, sounds like she's dying.
Yeah.
I think dead on the inside is just a perfect description of Garfield as a character in general.
Yeah, well, he didn't act that way. He was very high energy throughout the two plots we have. But when he spoke, it's like a weight was just dropped on his shoulders.
He's not the great Lorenzo Music who nailed Garfield in Garfield and Friends. And fun fact, this is going to be a rabbit hole thing.
Yes.
But it is important.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Lorenzo Music portrayed Dr. Peter Venkman on The Real Ghostbusters, taking over the role from Bill Murray.
Yes.
Who, of course, later then played Garfield in the live-action Garfield. But someone else took over the role of Peter Venkman in The Real Ghostbusters, starting in season 3.
Do tell.
And it was our favorite boy, the progenitor of Mr. Woodchuck, Canada's favorite son.
No, Mark.
Dave Coulier.
Woo!
No way.
That is true. These are true things.
Oh, God.
That's
We tied it back to Full House, guys. We tied it back to Full House.
Somehow. Good job, Mark. Well played to you.
Yep, tied to Full House. And there might be another tie, dear listener.
That's right. We have one later on.
Oh, right.
In this episode.
But, there's a lot to talk about with both of the plots mentioned in this episode. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like a 20-minute episode cut up into two smaller, like a 25-minute episode cut up into two smaller 12-minute episodes.
Yes.
So, which one do you guys want to start with? Because quite honestly, they're both absolutely insane.
I think we should start at the beginning.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
The beginning is a good place to start.
Yep.
And might I say, if we're starting at the beginning, this theme song kind of slaps.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It does.
It's pretty good.
It really does.
It's got a fun energy, and it's fun, and the animation is a little iffy, but the theme song's pretty good.
Wait, did you just say the animation was iffy? I think that's a bit of an understatement.
Given how much I was trashing Frank Welker's vocal performance, I was being nice to try to tiptoe into it.
You were trying to counteract. You were trying to like balance it out.
Yeah. It's the law of equivalent exchange.
I guess so. Yeah, but yes, the theme song slaps. The animation leaves something to be desired. Very, very low. Very few textures.
But there were so many great moments that came from the animation.
Yeah.
That honestly, like, I can't be mad. It's like I like it in a way that it's in like a so bad it's good kind of way.
Well, we should probably say which episode this is. This is the
yes.
This is Iceman / T3000.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're gonna start with
the final
Iceman,
episode of season 1, I believe. We're starting with Iceman.
Yes.
Yes.
Iceman. Oh, wait, no, there is. I was gonna say there is no Iceman, but I guess there technically is an Iceman.
What?
Mark?
So T3000 is a reference to the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Terminator. I know we're not there yet, but part of me deep inside wanted to say Iceman in an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. I was like, why is that? Right! Because he is an Iceman!
That's right! Yes!
In Batman and Robin!
It all connects!
Iceman cometh!
Mark, you know what? No, Mark, please do it right now. Please transition us into Iceman. I'm giving you permission.
The Iceman cometh. Turbo Man. That's not from Batman and Robin, but I felt like it was also important to say Turbo Man. Ice to meet you.
It's just a
Be
it's just a
careful
really
driving,
Schwarzenegger
Batman.
heavy episode. It's just a really Arnold Schwarzenegger heavy.
Yeah.
It's just I know I got very giddy to share that. It's just I genuinely had this moment where I was like, why do I want to say Iceman in an Arnold voice? Like I've heard it before. Like I have heard it before.
You have heard it. It is greatest performance ever.
Because he shouts, "The Iceman cometh" for no reason. Anyway.
So, in the beginning of the Iceman,
we have so the beginning of Iceman, we have Garfield talking to the camera. It's very Ferris Bueller like. Is what I wanted to bring up.
This is Garfield's day off.
yeah, it's a very weird framing device where he's talking to us while he's getting ready in the mirror for what happens at the end of the episode. It's very much like Memento. We start at the ending of the story and then we work our way.
Hashtag get on the
saying there's a parallel between the Garfield Show and Christopher Nolan's Memento?
Get on the Garfield Show's level, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I saw Tenet. Get on Garfield's level. I haven't seen Tenet. I don't know if it's good, but
But it begins with Arfield. It begins
Arfield.
It begins with Garfield talking to the camera, dressed as prehistoric Garfield.
yes, prehistoric Garfield.
And saying, I bet you're wondering how I got here. Mike here. Garfield's here. I bet you. I'm a little loopy this episode, I must say.
I think we're all.
This show's a little loopy, so. Well, I think it's just because of the show we just watched, guys.
This show maybe destroyed me.
I mean, for some extra background, I guess. Mark and I had seen a couple episodes of this show before, and to this day, the only thing I remember from the episodes we saw before this one was that one of them ended with Garfield looking into the camera and saying, "I know where you live."
I came across that photo recently. Maybe that's gonna have to be the thumbnail for this episode.
Oh my god.
It might have to, honestly.
Well, all I know is that getting
be.
that message from you guys at 1:00 at night saying, "It's a shame you didn't watch the Garfield show with us. This is what happens when you don't hang out with us, Harrison." And then you sent that photo of Garfield saying, "I know where you live." And that creeped me the hell out. So I've been greatly looking forward to this.
That was exactly what we were going for.
I have to ask you. Did you think it was from the show, or do you think we found an image of Garfield and put the text, "I know where you live" on it?
I figured it was from the show.
And follow-up question, which one would be crazier?
I think going so far as to get one of like those meme creation apps, getting the screenshot of Garfield and then typing in "I know where you live" to send a threatening note to me would have been creepier than that having to be.
Okay, I have some email drafts to delete then. If you think so, I can still send them. If you're like, maybe
Well,
okay.
What's the purpose of it? Is it for like a job interview, a date?
Tyler, put in some typing noises.
Leave in Mark asking for typing noises. Like, put the typing noises in, but leave Mark asking for them.
So,
are we avoiding what happens in this episode?
I think part of us are avoiding.
I feel like it's kind of like the problem we have with Fuller House a lot of the time, where it's like a lot happens, but at the same time, nothing happens.
I disagree. I think a lot happens in this episode.
Yeah.
Not much in the way of character development, but stuff indeed does happen.
It begins with Garfield telling us about an ice cream man, or, as Garfield says, a female ice cream man.
The ice cream lady.
The ice cream lady. Hashtag feminism.
Olga.
Hashtag girl boss.
Women. Olga is a girl boss. Yeah. Her name is Olga. This episode destroyed me. I might just be saying that at random points this episode.
Okay, so we have Olga, who is very sad because 10-year-old children keep calling her unattractive to her face, which is very mean.
To be fair, adult men also call her unattractive to her face,
which is even worse. This episode is very fat phobic.
It's this skeevy, horrible looking dude.
Yeah.
Who's like has the no chin and is rail thin. You're right, it's fat phobic because he's like rail thin in an unsettling way.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but he's like, Olga, you put on some more weight.
The thing I noticed about this character in particular is that he has no chin or no jawline for that matter, and Olga has like enough jaws for like two people.
So together,
he just gave her all the jaw. Like you put them together, and they have like the approximate jaw size for two normal human beings.
Your powers combined, I am Captain Jaw, and then he just gnaws on things.
The Crimson Chin.
But you see, Olga has another problem, which is Garfield, who, in this episode, is a bit of a bad boy.
He's a bit of a bad boy.
Garfield, for no reason, decides to make Olga's life a living hell.
Just steals all of her ice cream.
Not for no reason. He's a very fat cat, and he loves him some food, and he just wants that ice cream. He's stealing ice cream, baby.
Basically, every cat I've met. So,
but also like you can get John to buy you ice cream. Side note, by the way, this entire like half episode, John does not appear at all. Garfield's owner does not appear the entire episode.
Well, the entire episode, there is one scene with John. He has like one line. And I was so disappointed, honestly.
Because he's the saddest boy. He would have been so good in this episode.
John Arbuckle is the original sad boy. Yeah. Let's be honest here. Like we thought that like going into this episode, before we even watched it, we were just like, John Arbuckle is just going to be the sad boy of the week just by default. We're just going to have to give it to him.
And not to spoil anything, but he might still be the sad boy of the week.
I honestly think
that's just John Arbuckle.
But yeah.
That's just John Arbuckle for you.
Yeah.
So Olga's life is a living hell. John Arbuckle is in Yemen, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, we should say also in this montage of Garfield stealing ice cream, in one of them, Garfield has very, very sharp teeth.
Oh yeah.
And like multiple rows of teeth.
They looked like a crude parody of like whalebone teeth or whatever they are, like the whale bristles. They looked horrible.
Garfield does love him some krill.
Yeah. Oh yes. Next to lasagna, that's his favorite food, krill.
Yep.
Exactly. Like the Garfield food tier list, there's lasagna all the way at the top, duh, and then krill. Like it's a couple tiers below, but it's still second place. Because there's just a huge jump between lasagna and literally anything else.
Lasagna, krill, ice cream, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really messed up shit in the montage of Garfield stealing ice cream. In the same shot with the demon teeth, Garfield keeps putting on these disguises. And in the same shot with the demon teeth, he's also wearing a Native American headdress because he's appropriating indigenous culture.
Yikes.
I also want to point out, like, the way he also does this is that he climbs up on top of the ice cream truck while she's driving and then, like, pops up onto her windshield to just, like, scare her. And it's just like, don't do that. that can cause a car accident and people could die.
And then they tie her to a telephone pole.
Yes.
Yeah, he holds her hostage right after. And runs away on Odie.
Garfield is quite literally a monster.
Oh, God. I mean, with those teeth.
He has shark teeth.
With those teeth.
Until one day, when on the news, it was discovered that they had found a caveman frozen in ice.
God.
I don't know why I did that voice.
It'll all make sense. Just hold on.
I don't know why I did that voice for that, but it felt right.
It sounded like you were the National Geographic guy.
That's kind of what I was going for.
Yeah, I think it was very appropriate, bringing
Thank you.
David Attenborough energy
Yes.
to Garfield.
To Garfield.
So they need a refrigerator truck, and for some reason they decide to go with an ice cream truck. I don't.
Well. So here's what happens.
Okay, yeah. Am I forgetting what happened? Actually, okay.
So the truck is parked on a downhill portion. It is just a real steep downhill. She gets out to give out someone some ice cream, and Garfield's like, "Ooh, this is my chance. I'm gonna sneak in the ice cream truck and get all the ice cream." That's my attempt at a Garfield voice.
Yep.
He goes in there and he's like starts pushing all the buttons because he doesn't know what button opens the ice cream, and he turns off the parking brake and rolls down. And Harrison can attest to this. As soon as the truck starts rolling down the hill, I just started going into the Cityscape theme
from Sonic Adventure 2.
It looked like Cityscape, so it's just like that happens, and I just go rolling around at the speed of sound.
Got places to go, gotta follow my way home.
Musical bits.
Some musical bits for you.
I don't want to brush over the fact that Garfield steals a car in this episode.
Garfield steals a truck, yeah.
Garfield steals a truck. How much activity did Garfield do in the original comic strips? He just like sat around eating lasagna, right?
That was his thing.
Yeah.
And now he's stealing a car.
Why is he doing so much?
It's like it's like the cult classic game Garfield Kart, which, I mean, as someone who's played the game, it has the same art style as the show. I'd also like to, just because I think it fits, just read the first review that came up and I looked it up. This is from someone who, it's recommended, on record they have 1,073.8 hours on this game. And they said, and I quote, "Play for a few minutes, it's okay."
I love that, and I just want to say I need my Garfield meets Fast and the Furious
yes.
crossover.
Like, no, when I tell you the reviews of this game on Steam are wonderful, they are all like that one.
They're all like that one.
It's good.
It was so good.
It was funny because I was gonna do the "It's About Family" line as Garfield, and I'm pretty sure it's just the same as my Vin Diesel doing that one.
Quick, do Garfield.
Do Garfield, then do Vin Diesel.
It's about family.
Now do Vin Diesel.
It's about family.
So you have a little bit more of a golf ball in your mouth when you do Vin Diesel, but
Yeah. There's like a very slight difference, but barely noticeable.
By the way, I want to say I don't really have a full Vin Diesel impression, just that line. That line, and that's the thing about street fights. The street always wins.
One day I have to show you Fast and the Furious 7. Furious 7.
Furious 7?
You've quoted that line for so many years, but you have yet to see the movie.
I haven't seen the movie. Harrison and I watched Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
That was incredible. A bit underwhelming, but so wonderful.
Underwhelming, but still a glorious explosion of a movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so the ice cream truck, Garfield figures out how to break the ice cream truck, and it just so happens to be perfectly placed in the spot where the refrigerated truck should be. And the guys who are moving the crate with the frozen caveman in it are like, "Hey, we gotta put it in the refrigerated truck. Here's the truck." And the other guy's like, "Hey, I don't know, man. Looks kind of like an ice cream truck." And the other guy's like, "Oh, no, the museum must be low on money. I mean, it's a refrigerated truck, am I right?" But it's not a refrigerated truck because Garfield turned off the refrigerator. Sorry, Mark.
That's true. No, that was the more important detail. But I was just going to say, I think it's not even that much explanation. It's like one of them just goes, "Well, I guess we'll put it in this truck." Like there was a line that was so simple and so dumb that I was like, that's what I would come up with as a joke.
I don't know. It was probably just like, I mean, they said it's a refrigerated truck. Yeah. This is a refrigerated truck.
Seems fine to me.
You take it or leave it.
I also just want to point out that when Garfield steals the truck, Olga does run after it, and she's like keeping up with the truck. Yes, meaning that Olga is so fast. So fast. I can't believe
the Sonic music fits because Olga is Sonic, apparently.
You gotta go fast.
She should be in the Olympics.
Yeah, she should be in the Olympics instead of selling ice cream to mean children.
She should race Mario in the 100-meter dash.
Petition to replace Sonic in all the Sonic games with Olga.
Yes.
Oh my god.
As a Sonic fan, I signed this petition.
Yeah, Harrison, as our resident Sonic fan.
Olga gets to kiss the anime human woman.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It would deprive us of a glorious meme, but I think we could live with that.
It replaces the bestiality with good old-fashioned gay kiss.
LGBT representation. We need more of that.
Exactly. Yeah, we need more of that and less bestiality representation. So honestly, I'm fine with it.
I just want to say, like, to our editor Tyler, we've been going a bit over when he'd want us to be finished when recording these episodes, and I think this might be his lucky day because I do not have all that many more notes about this half of the episode.
It's gonna be a very short episode.
It's gonna be
okay. So. All right, what happens after this? All right, lightning round. So
there's no need for a lightning round.
Why do we need a lightning round? The episode is already almost over.
You're missing the most important part of this episode, which is the caveman.
Well, yes, we were getting to the caveman, but
it was at this. But you say lightning round as if we're running low on time.
I just really want to do a lightning round.
Okay, let's do a lightning round.
Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
Start the clock. Do we have a clock?
Okay, so there's a caveman in the truck and the ice all melts, so the caveman is alive for some reason, and he starts attacking a police officer.
Oh, no, no, he doesn't attack a police officer.
Oh, was it not a police officer?
Olga gets the truck back, and some, like, totally non-threatening guy with a mask comes up to her, and he's all like, hey, let me get some of that ice cream, and she gets out of the truck, and he's like, hey, I got your purse now, I'm gonna run away. And Olga's like, oh no, who will save me? When all of a sudden a caveman pops up from the back of the ice cream truck.
He melted.
Wait,
he melted.
First of all, are you telling me that Olga couldn't catch that purse snatcher herself?
Yeah, wait, that's a very good point. It's a very good point.
That's true. That's true. She's so fast.
There's a shot during that scene where she's chasing after the ice cream truck, where it's like a wide shot and you see the truck go down and you see Olga run after it, and it is the funniest run cycle I've ever seen.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good. And guys, I know we've already pitched at least 2 spin-offs. There's Garfield meets Fast and Furious, Garfield meets Sonic. But also, Olga should go and fight crime.
Yes, Olga should fight crime.
My name is Olga Ice Cream Woman, and I'm the fastest woman alive. She's the new Flash.
Mark, can I add to this?
Yeah.
Olga fights crime with her new caveman boyfriend because, ladies and gentlemen, when the caveman beats up the robber, they look at each other and they're like, oh, wow, I'm in love. They fall in love. That's what happens.
I'd like to point out, I forget exactly when I said it, but like, I think it was still when the caveman was just in the back of the truck. I said, oh, is Olga going to fall in love with the caveman? And then like a second later, the caveman jumps out and Garfield narrates, and then they fell in love.
He just like completely breaks down like the saddest reason to fall in love, that like this caveman who I guess has been aware the whole time that he's been stuck in ice.
I love how he's like not at all confused about all the modern technology around him.
The caveman says like at least one word of English.
Oh, God.
Because the bratty kids come up to him and they're like, you think this girl is pretty? And he goes, pretty.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he hasn't seen a woman in thousands of years, and I'm not adding that in.
Mark, would you rather it call him like, what, you think she's pretty? Unga bunga. Would you have rather just been like that?
For historical accuracy, I think it's off. Okay, Zach, let me flip the question back onto you. Is there nothing wrong here that the prehistoric caveman comprehends and can say back English?
The needs of the plot outweigh the needs of the logic, Mark. It's one of my favorite lines to say whenever something just makes no sense.
It's a mess. This episode is a mess. And by the way, let's just say the episode spends so much time setting up ice cream and no time whatsoever setting up unfrozen caveman.
Yeah. It just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is, I don't think we mentioned her, but there's a mean woman from the museum who wants the caveman.
Who also has one of the worst character models ever. The character models in this show are so bad.
They're all bad. Oh my
God. And she says, hey, get that caveman. He's museum property. And then Garfield, who is also there, is just like...
Right, this is a show about Garfield.
Yeah. Garfield's also there. He's like, hey, the back of this ice cream truck has a bunch of melted ice cream in it. So if I just like open up the door, all the melted ice cream goes on top of like the mean museum curator lady. And then Olga and the caveman run off into the sunset together in love.
It's very much like, have you guys seen the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie?
Oh, yeah.
When he's like visually analyzing the proper attack pattern.
Discombobulate.
And everything.
I've seen the meme of that where it just like goes on for like an hour.
Yes. It's like that. Garfield's looking at her and he's like, there's ice cream in the truck. She's a mean woman. If I open the truck into discombobulate. What I'm saying is Garfield is very much like Sherlock Holmes.
Yes. And he does in fact discombobulate her. So they do get away.
Yes.
They get away, and then the mean museum curator is like, no, I told my boss I'd have a caveman exhibit. What am I going to do now?
And then that's where we come to our beginning.
Yeah. If you let those crazy kids run away, I may be able to help you out there. And then we're back to the beginning.
And then they end up in the least historically accurate museum piece ever, which is an Odie dog fighting a saber-toothed cat with a club.
Garfield and Odie dress up like prehistoric animals and just stand still all day.
That's what they've been doing the entire time, by the way. That's like when Garfield's narrating, he's putting on his caveman costume with Odie.
And then the museum patrons leave and Garfield immediately starts eating. And that's our joke to take us home, you guys.
What was he even eating? It looked like mashed potatoes.
It looked like mashed potatoes.
I was going to say it looked like mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Having seen other episodes of this, there are so many weird models in the show because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But they also reuse a lot of assets. So very weird visuals and things crop back up. Like, it would not surprise me if the janitor character with like no chin was a villain in a previous episode, so he looked interesting and goofy for the previous episode. And then this episode is just like, he's a normal person.
He's a normal dude.
Speaking of normal people, that's not what happens in the second half of this episode.
Yep.
See what I did there? It's about it's called T3000, I think.
Yep, it's called T3000, and it opens with Garfield stealing again.
Garfield.
He's a straight up criminal.
He's stealing food. John has food.
The Garfield Show, the show in which Garfield commits all the crimes.
Garfield is a criminal. Garfield is a monster.
They do describe him as a felon.
That's true.
The T3000, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but he does say that Garfield has committed multiple felonies.
He keeps getting away with it, which is why the dog catchers lose their jobs.
No!
Two grown adult men lose their jobs because of Garfield.
And they are replaced by a robot that we were watching this with subtitles on. The first time it speaks, in the subtitles, it says...
Yeah, well, before we started playing the episode, I said, Oh, is there going to be a robot that talks in an Arnold impression? And the first time it speaks, Zach, you want to share it with us?
You can go for it.
The first time it speaks, the subtitles tell us Schwarzenegger impression. Or no, it says like
Schwarzenegger.
It says like Schwarzenegger.
Except it's not totally like Schwarzenegger because it's very heavily modified.
It's really not at all like Arnold.
It's someone doing a robot voice and also doing an Arnold impression.
Yeah. And it's like it falls like somewhere between the two where it's like you can kind of get glimpses of both, but in reality it's neither.
So it is like this. Beep bop boop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Beep,
yeah, you got it.
Boop.
Beep bop boop.
I am the dog catcher.
I am the dog catcher. Give your clothes. Give them to
and
me.
This robot goes around and tracks down all of the dogs and destroys people's houses.
I just thought it was important that we note that before the episode started, we said, "Oh, that would be so bad if they did an Arnold impression."
Yeah,
and then they did.
Where I thought you were going with this. Oh, sorry, you finished.
Also, when the robot is sent out to do its job, it goes down. Yeah, it goes down this big long thing way underground to this dog catching tank, and it's like, how do they have the money for this?
They do have a tank, and it's really weird.
Defund the dog catchers, you guys.
Yes, they have all that. And he just like goes up to the house and starts knocking on him. I think it's important to note that the first person, the door they knock on, this is where I thought you were going, Mark.
This was the next
first person they knock on. The first person whose door they knock on. It's like an old lady. She opens the door and the robot goes, "Sarah O'Connor." And we all were just like,
we lost it.
We all groaned in unison.
Fuck you, show. Ugh.
We groaned in unison.
Oh my God.
Since it is kind of a throwaway joke and definitely not meant for the intended audience of the Garfield Show.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, why didn't they just do Sarah Connor?
They wanted it to be legally distinct.
Legally distinct.
Sarah
Original character,
O'Connor.
do not steal.
Original character, do not steal. It is me, the dog catching robot. All right, and before that, when he drops down the tube to go into the secret dog hatching lair, he does tell the old dog catchers who've just been fired, "I'll be back."
Oh God!
Yeah, he does say that. He also had the other two dog catchers have a nice little meeting with the chief, and it's just like, "You guys have messed up too many times. You're off the force. I'm replacing you with a robot."
Yep. And by the way, we were immediately like, one of those dog catchers, his voice is familiar. And that is because he was voiced by Jason Marsden, voice of Max Goof, of Chester McBadbat, of Impulse in Young Justice, and also the portrayer of Nelson in Full House.
But not Fuller House.
Not Fuller House.
It's an important
He didn't have the time for Fuller House. He did have the time for the Garfield Show.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love that he had time for the Garfield Show and not Fuller House. It's absolutely wonderful.
He also played Nermal, which
he did.
He did play Nermal.
Who is adorable as always, and did a lot like Chester McBadbat.
Yep. And then he sounds a lot like Chester McBadbat, which is why I was like, oh, his voice sounds familiar. And then he eventually just gets scooped up by the dog catcher when Garfield and Odie are hiding from him.
But we should say first he goes to Sarah O'Connor's house.
Yeah.
But then he goes over to John's house. Well, actually, no. This is something that
it's Garfield's house now.
It's Garfield's house now, and we know that because the doorbell rings and Garfield, a cat. Garfield, who is a cat, who in canon is a cat, and not the homeowner. Garfield the cat answers the door.
Why is this
of John Arbuckle's home?
While John is home. It's not even like because John is out. John is later revealed to be home.
Wait, hold on a moment. In an episode where the dog catcher hires a robot who, with the voice of Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take care of Garfield because the only two dog catchers are too incompetent.
This sounds like really, really weird and fucked up fanfiction.
Why is the fact that Garfield getting the door, why is that the thing that breaks us?
I think it's because like we put up with so much shit, and that was like the straw that broke
the camel's back.
I thought it was just something to mention that Garfield is a cat who answers the front door as if it is his own house.
Yes.
But no, I think it's just the straw that broke the camel's back. Garfield opens the door, and to be fair, another cat who rang the doorbell runs in, and this cat is almost exactly like Kramer from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He came in, and we were all like, "Who is this?" And I immediately was like, "Oh, it's Kramer."
Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically his job.
He's Kramer from Seinfeld.
I have to calm down a bit.
Okay, all right, guys, deep breath in through your nose and out with your mouth. Garfield opens the fucking door.
But then the robot shows up.
Yeah, the robot shows up.
The robot shows up and saws a hole in John's house.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, there's also one thing I also want to mention. He like puts in like a buzzsaw and like cuts out like a half circle around the door. It goes through the curtains on the inside of the house. The door falls over, like the wall that he cuts out falls over. The curtains are perfectly fine.
I have come to expect so much more from the animation of the Garfield Show. I almost said Garfield the Show. Also, John's house, because we see the inside, it's made of like steel or concrete or something.
Yeah. Speaking of John, he finally makes his grand entrance in this episode to immediately get pinned to a wall by the robot, where he, I guess, stays for the rest of the episode. He doesn't show up again. He's just stuck on the wall of his own house, and no one comes to help him for the rest of the episode.
He walks down the stairs. I think he does say, like, "Garfield, what's going on?" And then he's shot by a robot.
With this weird
he like shoots
goop.
like a sticky goo that like sticks people to walls. And he sticks John to the wall.
This show is adapted from a comic strip about a man with a cat, and that's the whole strip. The whole thing is just Garfield's a cat who likes to eat, and now it's like, well, a robot is trying to kill Garfield.
Oh my God.
Would this episode be better if the reason for the robot hunting down Garfield was not Dogcatcher? It was that Garfield was going to lead the human resistance against the robots in the future.
That would have been incredible.
Yes.
It would have made no sense, but it would have been incredible. Or that John is or what if
John Arbuckle, leader of the resistance?
No, what if John Arbuckle is the Sarah Connor? John Arbuckle conceives the John Connor of the future.
Yep.
I know he gets with Liz.
Garfield, Odie, and the other cat hide. The robot employs a hologram to lure them out. He first shows a hologram of a dog, and Odie's almost tempted by it, but Garfield says, "Odie, you're smart enough to know that dog's not real." And then the hologram switches to be of a lasagna. There are multiple things to this.
Yes.
One, Garfield immediately says, "Hey, I know that lasagna's fake, but it looks delicious," and gives up their hiding spot. Why did you do it? Why, Garfield? Why? I know you like lasagna, but like, you acknowledge that it's fake lasagna. And secondly, how did this robot know that this specific cat really loved lasagna?
He's just that good.
Well, he just has like a database, right? Like, he knows who Garfield is, he knows who Sarah O'Connor is, he knows who like everybody is, and has like extensive data done on them, which seems like a big invasion of privacy. Like, this robot itself just seems like a huge invasion of privacy.
Defund the dog catchers. But I was like, a lot of that feels like it could be public record that, you know, there's a cat that lives at this address. Sarah O'Connor is a human being that exists. She has a cat, whatever. But the fact that Garfield loves lasagna.
I just.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if the hologram, instead of being of lasagna, was of like a calendar without Mondays?
No! A calendar without Mondays.
That's absolutely wonderful. I love that.
Except now I hate Tuesdays.
Garfield, you don't have a job. There's no reason for you to hate Mondays. You don't have to get up for work.
Why does he hate Mondays?
I think I did see someone once theorize that it's because John has a job. So John goes away on Mondays and Garfield really loves John.
Aw, that's so sad. So sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, this robot trying to murder Garfield.
Oh my god.
Oh god, what happens next? So Garfield
then
and
Normal is taken. Then Garfield and co.
They gotta bust out Normal.
Meet up with the old dog catchers. They meet up with the old dog catchers, and Garfield and Odie do like these charades to let them know that the robot's trying to hunt them down and they don't like it or whatever. And we were like, wait, in the previous episode, Garfield speaks English.
I was gonna mention, I was like, why is he like speaking in English to some people, but these dog catchers are the only ones where he just like plays charades with them and does not speak? Because it's proven that not only can he speak English, other people can understand him.
In the past, I just want to say, like, I've never had any throat issues recording this show. In the past 40 minutes, we have yelled so much about Garfield that my throat is starting to bother me.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful.
Oh god.
Listen, what's better than just hanging out with your best friends? Just a couple of dudes hanging out, chit-chatting about Garfield. You know, the usual hangouts with the boys.
Watch Garfield, hang out a bit, lose our fucking minds. It's a great time.
Watch more Garfield.
So they team up to save Normal, and they bust into the dog catcher's office by distracting the dog catching chief.
No, it's either his office or his house.
Oh, is it his house?
It's his home. It's his home. He maybe lives. I think they use the same establishing shot. So maybe he lives above the dog catcher.
That's what
office.
I thought it was.
But it's the same building.
I love the fact that he has to like live in the same building as where he works, and yet they can also afford this like robot who can just track down dogs.
Well, not just afford the robot, but there's some mayhem later where things are getting destroyed, and he's like, my Ming vase, my Stradivarius violin. Like he has all these extremely expensive things.
Oh, wait, I have a theory. He lives in the building, so he doesn't have to own a home. So he can get away with like not having to pay taxes on his home or something. And he's been taking kickbacks from the mob for years, which is why he has so much money for the department.
Yeah, it's a corrupt system.
It's a corrupt system. Defund
the dog catchers. They lure the robot back to the chief's house. Who he sleeps in we should also mention he sleeps in a fez. He's wearing a fez.
He wears his fez to sleep.
Why does he wear a fez? Is that like a sleeping thing?
It is not. You know why I think it is?
Why?
It's I'm betting it's reusing character models again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably that.
I'm betting that's what it is. I don't think people sleep in fezes.
I've never heard of it.
Let us know.
If you sleep in a fez,
show us your collection of fezes and tell us which one your favorite fez is and which one you sleep in.
Let us know. Show us your fezes. Tell us where you live. Give us your address.
Sure, we'll be best friends.
And we'll go and we'll be friends.
Yeah.
So the robot starts attacking the chief and his belongings because the chief is harboring Garfield and Odie.
Yep.
The robot, in an attempt to get Garfield, extends its hand. One of its fingers extends to be super long, which One, I get like it's one of those telescoping robotic limb sort of things, but because of the animation and the animation style, it just looks like it's growing unnaturally and it's really uncomfortable.
We didn't know what the hell was going on.
I was like, what the heck is that?
That's number 2. That is not set up at all. You'd feel like the robot uses the goo gun a lot. You'd feel like you would set up the other things it can do, especially if it's going to be important.
He does also stick the chief dog catcher to his own wall. It's also important to mention.
That is true. It does happen.
Tyler found the Garfield I Know Where You Live image.
Yes.
Wait, did he send
I did
it
not
to...
send
Oh,
that
there it
to
is.
Tyler.
Yep. Oh my god. That's absolutely wonderful.
Tyler, you've been doing some searching.
Oh man, love it.
We love Tyler. Everybody, tweet at us at Fullest House Pod telling us how much you love Tyler.
Genuinely, we could not function without you, Tyler. But the robot extends his gross finger towards Garfield. He ends up touching a lamp.
Somehow.
He electrocutes himself.
Well, this robot clearly is not expensive, because that is the cheapest hardware I've ever seen.
Hey, we had to cut costs somewhere. We're dog catchers. We don't have a lot of funding.
That makes everything make so much more sense.
Well, what I just said? Because I just made that up. That's not in the episode at all. It's not explained or anything.
I'm just saying it makes much more sense if that's the case. We do get a shot where Garfield and Odie both like smile, and we see again that Garfield has very sharp teeth. I don't like knowing this. I don't like knowing this information. I don't like it. I don't like seeing it. I don't like that Garfield has sharp teeth. It's bad, and I don't like it. It makes my life worse. I am worse off knowing that Garfield has very long, sharp teeth.
Oh my god. So the chief gives the dog catchers their jobs back under threat. They threaten to sick Garfield and Odie on them. And then the dog catchers let them go as a sign of respect.
Yeah, they made a truce, but they were like, hey, just so you know, the truce is over, and next time we see you, we're gonna catch you.
And the robot is repurposed into
That's
an
how they
ice
replaced
cream
Olga.
vendor.
It all ties together.
Yes. This show has really great continuity.
Really great world building on the part of the Garfield show, I gotta say.
Yeah, and then at the very end, the robot has a line that's like, yes, I am an ice cream man now. For now.
Dun, dun,
I mean, I think really what he says is, but I'll be back. Which they already said I'll be back in the episode. So it's
and it didn't even make sense there, but it makes more sense here. But yeah, I think that's how the episode ends, right? I'm pretty sure there's nothing else after that.
That's the episode.
So do we want to do Sad Boy of the Week?
Sure.
I mean, I feel like I'm just still gonna give it to John Arbuckle by default because he doesn't appear in this episode, and the one time we do see him, his house gets broken into. He gets stuck to the wall of his own house and is left there, possibly to die. We never see him again for the rest of the episode, so we can just assume he's still there, stuck to his own wall.
Not to mention, his cat opens the door for him.
His cat runs his house.
I think we wanted to go into this really just finding a really sad John Arbuckle episode, and we're just making use of what we got.
Who knows? Maybe next time we do a bonus episode, it'll be the Garfield Show again. Usually we end up doing different things, and I think that's the plan. But I doubt we're going to come back to Garfield.
Yeah.
So I think we maybe should award it to the sad boy of the
John
Garfield
Arbuckle.
world.
The sad boy of the Garfield world.
John Arbuckle.
Yes.
Jonathan Arbuckle.
That is deserving. I mean, John Arbuckle is the original sad boy. But with that concludes another episode of the Fullest House podcast. Thanks for tuning into this special bonus episode. Season 3 will be coming to you next week, so get excited.
Yay!
Woo! Until then, you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Fullest House Pod. Once again, I'm Zach Horowitz.
I'm Mark Greene.
And I'm Harrison Bloom.
And also, John's full name is Jonathan Q. Arbuckle.
Ah, wow.
Important to mention. And with that, may your houses be fuller and may your fields be garfed. See you guys in season 3.